And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. It's that series where we talk about those brand new #1 issues, new story arcs, character debuts, and the like. This is episode 27 as we head into the second half of my year's worth of this show. Celebrated 6 months of the show last week, so excited to get into that second half. So let's talk about some books. So based on like the feedback that I got and just like stuff I've been gathering over the past several weeks as I've been talking about this stuff, I'm actually going to save the bulk of the recaps for another video, which I'm hoping to post on Monday. I'll put that out there. Hopefully I'll get it done. But I haven't read a whole lot of the books yet. But the books that I did read from last week, I read 3 of the books so far, so I'll do like a brief recap here, and then I'll do a full video with these and some more books upcoming, so look for that, and we'll see how that goes. But the first one is Redcoat, issue #1. This came out, this is one of the 3 Ghost Machine books that came out this week, and this is the only one that I've read so far. So I thought this was a decent first issue. Obviously, I'm not going to expand on that too much here, but you know, a lot of it we had already gotten in kind of the preview. And we just got a little bit more of the story here, but it wasn't a whole lot more than we already knew about the character. So next is Shazam #10. This was Moving Day Part 1. As they get this new house, there's obviously a twist, some things that Zeus kind of left out when he left out of telling the family when he rebuilt their house. And so there's some more going on there that could cause some major problems for the family. And they have a new neighbor. So again, I'll expand on that later on. And then finally, Deadpool issue #1, written by Cody Ziegler, who does Miles Morales and Spider-Punk right now. So I was really excited about this one. And I'll tell you, I really enjoyed this first issue. It gave you enough of that familiar Deadpool vibe, but also kind of toned that down a little bit and gave that, you know, classic kind of vibe that he gives in his other books. And we even got a cameo from a character from Miles Morales in this book. So that was fun. So yeah, those are the books that I've read so far. So again, I will try to get that video up on Monday where I talk about these 3 and a few others. So I'll do that ahead of, you know, Tuesday's live show where we talk about all the books from the previous week. So I'm excited to kind of separate those out. And one of the other reasons I decided to separate that out this week is because, like last week, I had a lot of books to talk about in this video that are coming out next week. So let's jump right into those. So we'll start off with our first honorable mention. These are books that come out on April 10th, April 9th, and 10th. And the first honorable mention this week is Edge of Spider-Verse issue #3. The reason this is an honorable mention is because it's the first appearance of this new spider character, Star Spider, who is slinging webs across the universe, apparently. So if you are big into these new character debuts in Spider-Verse, this might be right up your alley. So Star Spider, your new cosmic spider character. Next honorable mention is Rat City issue #1. This one is purely being mentioned because my good buddy Mike Spider Slayer, but also because the concept, and this is basically a future version of Spawn, and it's written by Erica Schultz, who's, you know, a fantastic writer. But this put me in mind of Spider-Man 2099, so this is basically Spawn 2099, if you will, because this is like I said, a future version of Spawn, and this character actually isn't dead like Al Simmons. They got the Spawn powers through nanites in these because he's an amputee. He's got these prosthetics, and there's nanites in them, and that's how he gets the Spawn powers. So definitely a different take on the character. Interesting concept. So definitely wanted to shout that one out. And the final honorable mention here this week is Dungeons and Dragons: The Thief of Many Things. I try these D&D books occasionally from IDW. This one is written by Jim Zub, by the way. So if you're a Jim Zub fan, you might want to check this one out, or it's maybe co-written by Jim Zub, and Ellen Boner, who both have some D&D experience behind them, but This is a one shot, and it's based on the deck of many things, I think is what it's called, and it's like this infamous item in D&D. One card could like destroy everything, and this is about that ability, the deck of life, and so if you're really deep into the lore of D&D, this might be right up your alley as well. All right, getting into our rated books now. We are at Hercules issue number 1. This is from Dynamite, continuing these Disney books. And this one is actually written by Elliot Kalan from Mystery Science Theater 3000. So, and of was it the Daily Show? He used to be a writer of, I believe. But yeah, this is just continuing that tradition with, like, we've seen Lilo and Stitch, we've seen different ones that are like totally leaving my brain at this moment. But this is issue 1 of Hercules. So some of these have been really good, really solid. So why not try Hercules as well? I'm gonna give it a shot and give it a possibly good, because I don't really know. Hercules was never one of my favorites, but my wife loved the Hercules animated movie, and I know there was a series on it as well. Again, not one of my personal favorites, so I'm just going to give it that possibly good. But yeah, if it's your thing, check it out. This next one is interesting. It's called Deadweights number 1. This is from Ahoy Comics, who do Dragonfly Man, that those books, and I believe they also do Second Coming. But this is about a couple of henchmen who decide they don't want to be villains anymore, and it's about heroes that aren't quite as heroic as you might think, and that kind of thing. The art looked kind of fun. These two guys just kind of walking away from the battle, I thought was interesting. So it's just kind of like being disillusioned with their current life, and Ahoy does some kind of out of the box kind of things with their books. So this one sounded pretty interesting, so I'm going to give this one a potentially good. I like the concept, and hopefully I'll be able to find this and check it out. It calls it a buddy comedy in the description, which sometimes are fun. So, all right, this one I've talked about before on this show. Cullen Bunn's Body Bag issue number 1. I think it was either I had talked about it being an upcoming thing, or it was supposed to be out before this, and it got relisted. I don't really remember, but I do remember talking about it on this show on a previous episode. So basically, this is and somebody in the comments here said this is like 90s gimmicks, at their absolute height, and they're all there for it. And some other people were like, "Oh, I don't like these gimmicky things." And it's interesting because this could be one of like 4 books. I think it could be different. There's different monsters, different stories, and you don't know which one you're going to get. And it's kind of that blind bag concept applied to a comic book, which is a really interesting concept. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know. It's the same thing with doing like the drops like Distillery does. You just don't know if it's going to work until you actually see it in effect. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm curious if you all watching this are going to get this. I would love. I'm going to try to look up some like unveilings of these. Unboxing, opening, blind bag opening, whatever you want to call it. I'm curious. I'm curious what's going to happen with this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's Cullen Bunn. His stuff is a little bit hit and miss for me, but when it's good, it's really good. So yeah, I'll check it out. But I'm going to give this one a potentially good, because obviously I don't know what to expect from this. I don't know like which story you're going to get, and if they're going to be a monster that appeals to me or whatever. So potentially good. Speaking of Cullen Bunn, he also has another book coming out from Dark Horse, Monsters Are My Business and Business is Bloody, issue number 1. This is it's interesting. The art is really fun looking, which is different from Cullen Bunn's usually horrific kind of vibe. So that kind of pulled me in immediately. The logo is fun with like the monster tail going around the Are My Business part. I thought that was fun as well. there's like a character named Cuddles, who's a koala bear, which is already fun to me. Tentacles on the cover. There's a mystery at afoot here, and apparently a war against nightmares that beyond time and space, as the description says there. So all of those are elements that kind of appeal to me, that kind of call to me. Again, I just mentioned Cullen Bunn stuff is hit or miss with me, but this one seems like it would be right up my alley. So I'm going to give this one a potentially good, and I hope that it exceeds my expectations. Next up, we've got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 47. This is I don't know if this is just a one issue arc or if it's a whole arc. It might just be like this filler story, but this is hot on the heels of Web of Spider-Man number 1, where Chasm escaped. The Goblin Queen let him go, basically, but now he's back, and Hallows Eve is there as well. We're leading up to that, Amazing Spider-Man number 50. This is Legacy number 941, so, obviously leading up to some milestones upcoming, and of course we had to revisit Kaz and Mac for all that, so we're going to see what's going on with this. But again, I don't know if it's like just a one issue arc. I haven't looked ahead to the solicitations, or if it's like a 2-issue, multiple issue. I don't know. So I'm giving a potentially good, because with Spider-Man, you just never know these days. Next up, we have Action Comics issue number 1064. This is the first part of the House of Brainiac as Brainiac attacks. We've been leading up to this for months. It's been teased here and there, and we kind of got the tease at the end of the last issue with the Lobos stuff. So we got this whole Lobo army coming into this issue to battle Superman and Superman and Lex Luthor. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. If all this tension built up with the Brainiac teases and everything is going to pay off in a big way. I'm going to give this one a promisingly good, because so far I've enjoyed this action run. I think Joshua Williamson is doing a good job here. So we're going to see what happens with the House of Brainiac. I'm kind of low key excited about it. Brainiac's a big character who we haven't seen in a little bit, and I don't know what his master plan is here, but I'm curious to see what this story is all about. So then we have Uncanny Valley issue number 1 from Boom Studios. This is by Tony Fleeks, who does Stray Dogs and Feral, and it's also by Dave Wachter. And this really interesting concept, but obviously Tony Fleeks' name caught my attention. I really love Stray Dogs. I love the first issue of Feral. So this one is definitely on my radar. It's not about animals, this one. This is about a 12-year-old boy who has this like family mystery going on that involves his mom. It kind of comes from that, but he's got these special abilities that make him different from everybody else. And they kind of have like this cartoonish effect, but this very dark side of it as well. So it just sounds really interesting to me. Dave Wachter from Punisher and TMNT on the art here. So you're going to get some solid art. And you can see from the cover here, you've got like some homages, Yosemite Sam type character, Ryu or Ryu, however you want to pronounce it, from Street Fighter kind of thing going on. So it looks like some bizarre stuff is going to go on in this book. And again, Tony Fleek's writing style appeals to me. Meshing that like realism with that cartoony is kind of his bag. So I'm definitely curious about this one, and I am going to give this one a promisingly good, because I'm really excited about this one. And last but certainly not ever least, Transformers issue number 7. This is a brand new story arc, and the title or the subtitle here is "Who Will Lead the Decepticons?" Obviously, this whole Starscream Soundwave battle that started last issue is going to play out here. We're going to see who's going to take charge with the Decepticons, and we are going to see some more stuff with the Autobots. It says Autobots learn they have more allies than they ever imagined. This is one of my favorite books on the stands right now. Every issue has been really good. We have some like really strong emotional beats as characters uh, either die or sacrifice themselves or get, you know, very injured in this. We've seen some surprising developments like Optimus Prime picking up Megatron's cannon arm and using that. Megatron is nowhere to be found. Check out some other books in the Energon universe for stories on that. Don't want to spoil that too much. Um, but yeah, you know, Starscream is, if you have not checked this book out, Starscream has literally just like squished human. He calls them little squishies and stuff like that. Is a very bloody book, very dark take on Transformers. That, you know, the Decepticons don't care at all about the human life. Whereas you see this moment in, I think it was issue 1, where uh, Optimus Prime is about to take a step, or he actually steps on a deer and realizes how fragile this world is, and he's really saddened by that. And so you get both sides of that. This book is just fantastic. Daniel Warren Johnson has been doing the writing and art from day one on the first 6 issues, but now steps aside on the art as Jorge Corona takes over. But Daniel Warren Johnson continues to write it, so it's going to be interesting to see if the different art style is jarring at all. I'm hoping that it really fits with the tone of the book that's been going on. I think it will. Jorge Corona is also a phenomenal artist, but I'm giving this one a positively good because I have absolutely loved every single issue of Transformers so far. And yeah, I cannot see a possibility where this is not a good book, that this is not in my top 5 of the week. So Transformers definitely getting that coveted positively good rating from me. And that's it for the first. Just to leave you with some other books that I am anticipating for this week coming up. Wolverine issue number 47. This is the next part of the Sabretooth War. We found out that Laura was alive in last issue, so she's leaping into action in this issue. Batman and Robin issue number 8, continuing that hunt for Shush and all this stuff with Man-Bat going on. This has been a really fun story and kind of a continuation from that Robin series. Miss Marvel Mutant Menace issue number 2. We got Mojo entering the fray here, so Miss Marvel's first interaction with Mojo, I do believe. Maybe not. I can't remember actually, but I'm enjoying this one. I enjoyed the previous Miss Marvel series as well. Ultimate X-Men issue number 2. I was kind of on the fence after that first issue, but we got Maystorm coming into this one. Nico is showing up in a later issue, so I'm kind of now a little bit more intrigued by this series going forward. Green Lantern issue number 10. Now that Green Lantern Hal Jordan has found out that he actually can leave, and there's like a battery on Earth. Now he's headed to Oa, so we're going to see what happens with that. And then Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Return issue number 3. This is the one that is co-written by Kimberly Hart herself, Amy Jo Johnson, and it's been really good the first couple issues, so I'm excited about that. But that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Friday First. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe notification bell so you don't miss any of the episodes or the other content going up on this channel. I'm going to try to do more full videos. I've been focusing on the shorts more than anything aside from this series, but I'm going to try to do some more videos, including that kind of recap of the books that I talked about last week that I mentioned earlier in this show. Of course, you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics and type in onlygoodcomics.com to come right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care and keep reading those comics.